Hey, what's going on, my reviews? My name's Evercade and my content channel. And today, I want to talk about something I saw recently, and I say recently, the video's over a year old. And it's a video by Evercade Effect talking about why Blaze doesn't get the big licenses, why big companies won't want to license their games to Evercade. And I just want to go over my thoughts on this idea. Now, to me, obviously, we always got to understand that some of these companies are worth billions of dollars, $1 billion corporations, companies like Sega, Capcom, SNK, Konami. They make a lot of money, and they're worth a lot of money. So a lot of these companies don't really want to. Well, I said a lot of the games that we want to see from them on Evercade probably would sell better on other platforms for these companies and bring in more revenue with less work. Now, for example, I made a video recently about why Sonic Origins should come to Evercade, because obviously they're Mega Drive games. They can run on the Evercade. Mega Drive games can run fine on the Evercade. But what we've got to understand is Sega would have to have a willingness to actually put those games on Evercade. Blaze can't just go to companies like, hey, we want to license this, and this, without paying a price, because these companies need to agree to bring their games to Evercade, and they got to agree to bring certain ones that are asked for, as well as ones for a fair price. Because a company like Sega or Capcom have probably hundreds of games that could run on Evercade, whether it be arcade games, Mega Drive games, it is what it is. And we don't see a lot of them because obviously they're not going to be licensed. And obviously with Sega, Capcom, Konami, SNK, all these big names, there's a huge problem with Evercade where Blaze is a tiny company. That's the one thing holding them back in this situation. They're a tiny company. They haven't got the money to actually spend, but to get something like Sonic Hedgehog, to get Street Fighter 2, to get some of these big name game franchises on Evercade, especially when you consider the vicious cycle that Evercade's stuck in, where they need popular games to sell Evercade systems, but then they need Evercade systems to sell really well, to have the money to afford popular game licenses, and vice versa. It's a continuous cycle you don't understand. And you can also make the argument that a lot of developers don't realise that Evercade's more than just a handheld or more than just a home console. Because one thing that's brought up in that video is the idea that Namco doesn't know. Well, Namco didn't know, in my opinion, from what I've heard, that Blaze was going to do the VS. So they've licensed their games exclusively for the handheld. And then it was announced, oh yeah, we're making a home console. And obviously Blaze was never able to renegotiate a deal with Namco. Now, the reason they probably never weren't able to make a deal with Namco, because obviously pandemic and all that sort of stuff happened, and obviously Namco was unwilling to make a deal, because obviously they're worth like $8 billion. They have money. They have tons of money. They don't need to worry about selling some old games on the Evercade. So yeah, and I'll be fair, I do want Sega games on Evercade. I want Konami games on Evercade. I'd love to play a game like Bomberman on Evercade. It'd be great. But the problem is, for a lot of us, is obviously a lot of these big companies, they don't want to license games to Evercade because Evercade's a small platform, right? So the sales wouldn't be that good, and for a company like Sega, Capcom, Konami, whatever, their games would sell more Evercades than on other platforms, which would bring in more money faster. And some games may not even sell that well on Evercade. You might do a collection of games for Streets of Rage, which sells terribly, but a collection of games that do Sonic Hedgehog might do really well. You don't know. You'll never know unless we all suddenly see all these big companies come to Evercade. Now, there are a few exceptions. Obviously, Namco licensed some games to Evercade when it first launched back in 2020. Then, obviously, Ireme, who's a huge arcade developers, licensing games to Evercade starting in 2020, later this year. So, we could see some great games come in the future from these big publishers. It's just probably they're not coming right now. And Blaze is working behind the scenes to try and get a big publisher. But obviously a big publisher costs a lot of money, so you never know. We may see some big name publisher on it, we may not. If we don't, no real biggie. As long as we keep getting great indie games and great sort of hidden gem sort of games, will be fine. But getting a big publisher like Sega would be really nice, especially to add more of a catalogue to Evercade. But obviously, remember, companies like Sega, Capcom, Konami, they can sell their collections of some of their old games for like $40, $50, $60, $70, bringing a ton of money, and they haven't done do much work to them. So I don't think and also with Sega obviously doing it, Sega Mega Drive Mini, I doubt that they're gonna really want to put their own games on Evercade and then make them a competition. Capcom might, you never know. Konami might, but we don't know. We'll never know unless a deal ever gets announced. So yeah. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Do you want to see big licenses on Evercade? What do you think are the reasons we aren't seeing big licenses on the Evercade platform? Leave all that stuff down in the comments down below. I've been Evercade. I'll catch you next episode. Peace.